parenthood is all about having the plan of giving what's the best for your family and for your children in the future. Responsible parents is having the ability to provide an environment that is safe for your children, provide your children the basic needs, which is the food, shelter, clothes, and education. Provide your child with self-esteem needs, like boosting their confidence, supporting them to their needs and to their wants, and teach your children morals and values so that they can be a responsible person when they grow up, and they have a respect to other people, and develop mutual respect with your child so that you can open with each other to share thoughts and opinion, and you can give them discipline so that they can be responsible when they grow up, and involve yourself in educating them. Like, for example, when your parents teach you something, you have to teach your children something too, so that they can be inspired to be a responsible person when they grow up. So the Responsible Parenthood and Reproductive Health Act of 2012, known as the RH Law, is a groundbreaking law that guarantees universal and free access to nearly all modern contraceptives for all citizens, including impoverished communities at government health centers. The law also mandates reproductive health education in government schools, and recognize a woman's right to post-abortion care as part of the right of reproductive health care. With universal and free access to modern contraceptions, millions of Filipino women will finally be able to regain control of their fertility, health, and lives. The Reproductive Health Law is a historic step forward for all women in the Philippines, empowering them to make their own decision about their health and families, and participate more fully and equally in their society.
Enactment. Enactment is the process of making a law or acting out a sense from a play or document. An example of enactment is to sign a bill into law, an historical event being acted out a high school play. How do you use enactment? First, we support the call for the enactment of a Bill of Rights. Second, the main building was also used for the enactment of mysteries plays. And third, but the enactment fixed a gulf between the people of the Athens and their allies. Salient points in the Supreme Court decision. Research around the world has shown that women who use family planning are generally healthier, better educated, more empowered in their households and communities, and more economically productive. Family planning gives women and adolescent girls the freedom to have fair children, start their families later in life, complete their schooling, and escape the poverty trap. The Philippines Supreme Court made this landmark decision in the same week as the United Nations Commissions on Populations and Development is reviewing progress in implementing the Program of Action of the Cairo International Conference on Populations and Development, which 179 governments, including that of the Philippines, adopted in 1994. The Program of Action was groundbreaking because it placed individual rights and dignity at the heart of development, affirmed sexual and reproductive health as a fundamental human right, and recognized the empowerment of women and girls is key to ensuring the well-being of individuals, families, nations, and our world. Equitable, universal access to reproductive health and family planning, information, and services is just as central to the human right based agenda of the program of action today as it was 20 years ago.
Implementation. Implementation is the process of putting a decision or plan. Implementation or pagpapatupad sa Tagalog. Implementation is the carrying out, execution or practice of a plan, a method or any design, idea, model, specification, standard or policy for doing something. Example is 1. She was responsible for the implementation of the plan. What are the types of implementation? Direct changeover, parallel running, also known as parallel. Phased implementation, pilot introduction, also known as pilot. Well trade. What is the implementation process? Implementation process is that turns strategies and plans into action in order to accomplish strategic objectives and goals. What are some synonyms for implementation? Accomplishment, achievement, commission, discharge, enactment, execution, fulfillment. So, in addressing the failures outlined previously, and to maximize our probability of implementation success, we need to address the engagement and involvement failures of people, terms, and the organization in the context of the implementation model. We also need to look for the role models who make those things happen. A person is smart if he listens to millions of pieces of advice and doesn't implement any of it, because knowledge is not power, implementation is power.
Hi guys, welcome to my video. So today we're gonna talk about 1, 2, 3 Hi, welcome to my video. So today I will going to discuss. First is maternal. From the word maternal. Are you familiar about that word, guys? Okay, so ang maternal kay similar siya sa mother. Even if you are not a mother, you can be a maternal by caring for others in a loving manner. So, bisan single ka, matawag kag maternal kung ang imuhang pag-care sa uban, imong pag-love kay wa siya mama bitaw, di ba? Dahil biya ang gugma sa mama, dahil ang care sa mama kung imong pag-care o pag-love sa laing tao kay murag mama mother. So, nasa gitawag nga maternal instinct. Muna sila ang mga tao nga nag-desire na magkaroon ng anak. Muna ang mga tao nga gusto na sila nga nana sila anak or nagplano sila nga magkaanak. Napay gitawag nga maternal grandma. Muna itong mga lula. So, muna sila maternal grandma. Next is neonatal. Neonatal is the first 4 weeks of a child's life. So, aning hapan kay dahan kay mga kuan bitaw ka ng mga critical or dahan kay mga mabag-o or gina-process between mother and the baby. So, mana na siya katong dapat gina-alagaan jud ang bata ni nga time. So, next is family planning. So, it is the service provide education, counseling, and birth control option to help people make decisions about when and if they want to have children. So, it is having the desired number of children and when you want to have them by using safe and effective modern methods like failed intrauterine devices, implants, injectables, condoms, sterilization. So, muna siya ang mga modern methods. Next is
adolescent sexuality and reproductive health.
refers to teenage physical and mental well-being, which include their ability to avoid unplanned pregnancy and self-abortion, sexually transmitted infection including HIV and AIDS, and all form of sexual assault and coercion. Coercion, kung sa Tagalog, pamimilit. Kung sa Bisaya, gipugos. Kumbaga, ayaw pugsa ang tao kung walay gusto sa imuha para dili ka masakitan. So, muna to siya. Next is sexually transmitted infection and HIV or AIDS. Sexually transmitted infection are very common. Common na kayo siya sa mga taong nga active sa sexually active. Sexually transmitted infections are spread from person to person through sexual activity. So, type ang STI or sexually transmitted infection are this. So, mo niya mga symptoms. Next is gender-based violence. It is referred to harmful act directed at individual based on their gender. So, it is a serious violation of human rights, life-threatening health and protection. Types of gender-based violence: psychological behavior, stalking, physical violence, forced marriage, sexual violence including rape, female genital mutilation, forced abortion, and forced sterilization, or sexual harassment. So, naay po'y 5 interrelated types of violence. Muna siya ang first kay physical violence, verbal violence, psychological violence, sexual violence, or socio-economic violence. So, naay duha ka categories ang violence: domestic violence and sexual harassment. So, thank you for watching. Bye-bye. See you soon.
So hello guys. The drama between Planned Parenthood and activist groups that seeks to discredit it may soon play out in court. Just like in Center of Medical Progress or the CMP could face a host of legal problems from states with laws around the surreptitious recordings of the conversation. The upcoming court battles are the latest development in the saga, which has in the last 8 weeks spawned legal, ethical, and political debates over the practice of uncover investigations, the sale of donations of fetal tissue for research, and the federal funding of Planned Parenthood. Above all, the issue has reignited the nationwide debate over abortion, though what this has actually contributed remains unclear. On the other hand, abortion opponents in case led by CMP and its supporters are counting on the videos to shock Filipinos into seeing the controversial practice the same way they do, like murder. Many have commented on the casual tone used by Planned Parenthood employees to discuss fetus parts. They said that some numbers of persuadable people who haven't thought deeply about the subject will realize that doctors are sometimes killing something with a liver, and perhaps start to think of the unborn as possessing livers rather than clumps of cells. At the same time, abortion rights supporters are using controversy to reiterate how shutting down abortion providers also keeps women from accessing health services and sometimes forces them to down dangerous paths. Framed this way, the abortion debate seems distinctly in any race. Either you're killing the babies or you're killing the women.
Neither notion is conducive to productive conversation or policy. But despite the harsh tone of recent articles, both supporting and condemning Planned Parenthood, polls should suggest that most Filipinos are not sharply divided over the issue, as the extremists on the other side. So these are some positives and negatives I saw in the health law of 2012. So the first advantage or the positive side of this law is it promotes all effective, healthy, and legal. Number 2 is the wide distribution of family planning equipments such as condoms, BCPs, and IUDs, as the government is still sharing awareness about this use in all centers in the Philippines. And the negative side or advantage, the first is if the bill is adopted, then we open up children's minds to sex. So that's all about the areas of controversies and debates of the Planned Parenthood. Bye.